Hi everybody, welcome to Mind Over Matter, Zen in Medieval Japan, which is the first exhibition here at the National Museum of Asian Art that highlights almost the entire breadth of our collection in medieval, Japanese and Chinese works produced in a Zen context. Zen is a lineage of Buddhism that emerged in China around the 5th century. So that is more than 1,000 years after the birth and the historical Buddha and the transmission of his original teachings. So Zen struggled with this remoteness from the time of the historical Buddha and artificially tried to tie its lineage to the historical Buddha. And this is one of the reasons why arhats, pictures like this one, became so important. They depict the original pupils of the Buddha that directly received his teachings from him. And because of this proximity, gained almost mythical, almost magical powers. And this is why here in paintings in this exhibition and in our collection, you see them taming fierce creatures like dragons that are usually untamable, but through their spiritual power, they even are able to subdue these creatures to almost a pet-like status. Zen is full of idiosyncratic characters, many of which found their way into paintings and became role models of Zen practitioners and monks for generations. One of those characters is Kanzan, also known by his Chinese name Hanshan, a monk who lived in China and is known for shedding all conventions of regular conventional life in a way that he was wearing rags, he was writing carefree poetry, he was conversing with his friend through these exaggerated gestures. He was basically untrammeled and had shed all conventions of life, symbolizing his enlightenment. Zen is an interpretation of Buddhism that goes emphatically against the norms of traditional Buddhist order in monasteries. Traditionally, Buddhist monks were expected to shave their heads and follow a specific code of conduct. Zen went against that and went against the flow and specifically rebelled against that type of order. And those acts of rebellion are encapsulated in many works in this exhibition. One of them is right here. This work here depicts one of the patriarchs of the Zen lineage from China, painted by a Japanese artist, interpreting how this person may have looked like. And the artist gives him this elaborate coiffure, which is something that is his act of rebellion against the monastic order. If you think about that you would have to shave your head, it is even more of an act of rebellion to tend to your hair and let it grow out like this guy here. Landscape paintings occupy an incredibly important part in Zen practice and in the production of paintings within Zen monasteries. Monasteries in medieval Japan were often located within urban centers like Kyoto, hustling and bustling places where you could not easily escape from this world and immerse yourself into the spiritual quest for enlightenment. Landscapes like these that were painted within the monasteries enabled Zen monks to escape from worldly concerns and mentally seclude themselves. So these landscapes, which are never depictions of actual landscapes but imagined vistas, were used for some kind of mental, spiritual reclusion in your mind. In medieval Japan, Zen monasteries were centers of learning about China, because Zen monks from Japan and China traveled to each other's monasteries constantly, creating this exchange of thought. And for that reason, Zen monasteries in cities like Kyoto became hubs for learning about the newest developments of Chinese politics, culture, history. And that is one of the reasons why you'll find quite a number of traditional Chinese themes in paintings created through the Zen context, such as this one showing the 4 accomplishments, the 4 ideals of what a gentleman, a scholarly gentleman, was supposed to embody. The practice of drinking the powdered tea that we today know as matcha came to Japan from China around the 12th century through Zen. And with that practice of drinking the stimulating beverage during long hours of meditation, keeping you awake during meditation, came an entire microcosm of accoutrements, like this tea bowl here, objects that were produced in China during the 11th, 12th centuries, but gained incredible importance and had a big impact on production of art in Japan. This work here is especially wonderful in a way that it has what is called hare's fur glaze, an iron-based glaze that runs down the side of the bowl and creates the appearance of oil spots or the texture almost of a rabbit's fur. And these objects were highly prized in Japan and had a big impact on Japanese ceramics moving forward.